Good evening, everyone. I'm Destina Bass, and thanks so much for joining us. In headline news, the Caribbean community, formerly known as CARICOM, has called upon the HIV specialists, the leading epidemiologists specializing in infectious diseases, to shed light on the unanswered questions relative to HIV and AIDS. In tonight's top story, I'm Destina Daps. Good evening. My name is Renisha Rose, and tonight my team, the HIV specialists, would like to discuss the global crisis that is also heavily affecting the Caribbean, also known as HIV and AIDS. Firstly, I would like to educate you on what is HIV and AIDS and what are microbes. A microbe is a living organism that requires a microscope to be seen. There are different types of microbes, and usually a virus is 10 times smaller than the average bacteria. According to Oxford's dictionary, a virus is an infective agent that typically consists of a nucleic acid molecule in a protein coat and is able to multiply only within the living cell of a host. HIV, also known as human immunodeficiency virus, is a virus that attacks the body's immune system, in specific the T cells, which is the body's natural defense against foreign organisms. By hijacking the immune system, HIV essentially tears down the immune system, leading overall to death. Okay, now we're going to discuss structures of the HIV virus. The HIV virus has 2 strands of RNA, 15 types of viral protein, and a few proteins formed from the last host cell it infected, all surrounded by a lipid bilayer membrane. There are 2 main groups of HIV, HIV-1 and HIV-2. The members of this family are from the retroviruses of genus lentoviruses. Routes of transmission and how infectious HIV is. Now, you can contract HIV in many different ways, but transmission occurs through fluids. Hold on. Okay, the HIV in these fluids must get into the bloodstream of the HIV negative person through a mucous membrane, which are found in the rectum, vagina, mouth, or tip of the penis, through open cuts or sores, or by direct injection. These bodily fluids are blood, semen, pre-seminal fluid, rectal fluid, vaginal fluids, and breast milk. The most common way of contracting this disease is having unprotected vaginal or anal sex with someone who has a high viral load. Another way is sharing injected drug equipment. A less common way is from mother to child, and the least common way, which is a problem for healthcare individuals, is getting stuck by an HIV-contaminated needle or sharp object. There are 3 stages of this virus. The first is an acute infection. The second is clinical latency, and the final is acquired immunodeficiency disease, also known as AIDS. HIV and AIDS in Haiti. Outside of sub-Saharan Africa, the Caribbean region has the highest adult HIV prevalence rate in the world, and Haiti has the highest adult HIV prevalence rate among all Caribbean countries, which means that there are 150,000 persons living with HIV and AIDS in Haiti.
Good evening. My name is Tiana McIntosh, and I am bringing to you the symptoms of this infectious disease. After being infected, the disease starts out as HIV and can later turn into AIDS. The first stage of HIV is called the acute infection stage. The virus reproduces rapidly within the first few weeks, and some people experience symptoms during this time. Symptoms during the acute stage are very similar to the flu, meaning that it may only last a few days or it will come and go. Early symptoms of HIV include fever, chills, sore throat, headache, swollen lymph nodes, etc. When the HIV enters the second stage, which is clinical latency, the symptoms increase. Other symptoms such as recurrent oral and vaginal yeast infections, shingles, weight loss, and skin rashes occur. When HIV intensifies into AIDS, the symptoms worsen. Symptoms of AIDS can include chronic fatigue, rapid weight loss, sores and lesions, chronic diarrhea, and neurological problems. Before performing the test for HIV, the specimen is collected, records are reviewed, equipment is set up, and tests are prepared. After performing the test, the results are recorded, reported, and interpreted. There are approximately 600 persons living with HIV here in Turks and Caicos Islands, according to the Director of Health Promotion and Advocacy, Aldora Robinson. The ages of these cases range from 18 to 45 years old. Overall, there were only 3 deaths from this disease for the year 2020. Ms. Robinson stated that there is a strong treatment program here, and they are aiming to have at least 90% of HIV-infected people on treatment with a viral load that is undetectable. I encourage everyone to go and get tested and always practice safe sex. This is Tiana McIntosh for the Leading HIV group.
We will be back with a short commercial break. This is Dextine Adapts. Good evening, Bahamas. We are now back from the commercial break. The HIV specialists will now continue.
Good evening. My name is Samariko Williams, and today I will talk to you about the treatment available for HIV or AIDS. HIV drug resistance occurs when there are changes in the genetic structure of HIV that prevents the drug from doing its job. When there is no action taken to treat the HIV disease, the antiretroviral drug works effectively. 25.4 million people out of an estimated 38 million people living with HIV were receiving the antiretroviral therapy globally. Other treatment options available in hospitalization is available for mother-to-child transmission. The antiretroviral therapy is a form of treatment being provided to the mother-to-child transmission program. Pregnant women and infants can be tested. This lowers the risk of transmission to infants. HIV testing available in Jamaica is HIV testing available in Jamaica. Voluntary counseling and testing sites have been established in all major health centers with over 95% of relevant staff. The HIV testing uses either the fingerprint test or the oral test. More than 1/3 of respondents delayed HIV testing due to fears of how others would respond if they received a positive diagnosis. and 30% were slow to start treatment because of concerns that people might learn about their status. My name is Samanika Williams, and this is the treatment options available in hospitalization as well as Jamaica.
Thank you. Thank you so much to our special guest speakers, the HIV specialists. Good night, Bahamas.